Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my talk. It's about ransomware, data encryption made easy. First of all, to the word. So it is consisted out of the word ransom for ransom in English and the common word of ware. It is like used for blackmailing people, the whole software. So first to the history of ransomware. It started in 1989. There was the AIDS conference. And some guy distributed infected floppy drives with some ransomware on it. And yeah, they caught the developer and put him into jail. And still it was quite distributed over the world with diskettes, with the floppy disks. So it's quite interesting to see that it really distributed to the world with the diskettes. Still, it was offline. The first internet attack was via the Troy PGP coder. It was around 2005, and the malware developer wanted a couple of $100 of ransom of the people. Today, there are a lot of infections, especially in the meantime, a lot of big companies are affected. And that's quite a problem for all the companies because they have a lot of money loss because of not working systems. There is estimation that around one-fourth of the people are paying the ransom to the ransomware developers, but the estimated number of unknown cases are for sure higher, that more people pay it. There are a lot of different versions of ransomware. There is like Locky, Tesla Crypt, CryptoWall. It's just a selection, but there are a couple more. Also, the colors say if there is, in this case, a decryptor available that you can decrypt the ransomware for free if the implementation is made bad. So ransomware in reality, that was like 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago. It was a hospital in the US. They got a ransomware attacked, and in the end they paid 40 bitcoins. That was around 15,000 euro at this time. So I think they would better invest in a backup strategy and backup solution instead of paying the ransom, but they paid the 15,000 euro in bitcoins. The next thing is quite fun. It's called popcorn time. It's a ransomware. When you get infected, you have two options. You pay the ransom, or you infect two other friends of you, and if they pay the ransom, you get your key back. It's like quite a snowball effect. So yeah, you can choose to pay the ransom, or you just infect two other people and they will pay for you, and you will get the ransom, your keys to decrypt your files. The next one is quite interesting. It's called GoldenEye. It's a version of Petya. Before there were attacks that they sent to the HR, they sent applications for a job, but they were not personalized, so it didn't work all the time. But at the GoldenEye ransomware, they really targeted the companies and they sent personalized applications to the jobs, so they really wrote for which special jobs they apply for, and so the chance was much higher that the people will open the file if they see it's like a legit application for a job. And with this like kind of social engineering, they managed that a lot of more companies get infected by ransomware. So as you all know, there was WannaCry. There was used a 0-day in Windows, which was patched like two months before. But not everyone patched it. It was a really big financial loss for some companies because they didn't have their system updated and got the whole infrastructure infected by ransomware. And yeah, what would Tonibir do? I think his second thing he would say would probably be, if you could update with Windows right now, that would be great. I would also like to present you a guide to getting infected. So there is here an example email with links to ransomware. It was like before GoldenEye, that was the email for a job application, which was not personalized. So it was just a general application for a job. And in the email it's standing, yeah, my files are too big, so I upload it to the Dropbox. So the application files were in some Dropbox with some infected files. So the the people downloaded the files from a Dropbox, opened the file and got infected. So one way to getting infected is Office macros. So Word or Excel, they are quite interesting ways that people would like to activate macros. So they have quite a good plans to like this file. So there's a lot of rubbish in this file, and there is a text standing there like enable macro if data encoding is incorrect. So people will like think, oh, my Word document is broken, I will activate the macros and then it will work. And in the end, they will get infected by ransomware. The next thing is way better, in my opinion. It's you see a blurred text at the bottom, and there is like standing. Due to security reasons, this text is blurred. To unblur the text, please activate macros. So it seems even more legit, and people will just activate the macro if they have no clue, and then they will still also get infected by ransomware. Another way to get infected is like PDFs. There are security holes in the PDF format or in the reader, like Adobe Acrobat Reader. And often they're like 0 days use, they're not known to the public that you get infected. For sure, also some of the attacks are like also targeted attacks to companies with this 0 days included. Another thing is Adobe Flash Player. So it's like just a tool with a bunch of exploits and holes and all the stuff. So I should recommend that you don't use this stuff anymore, if possible. Another attack vector is Java drive-by attack. So if you have Java enabled in your browser and going to malicious sites, websites, it could be that you just start Java and download in the background some software and executes it, and you will never, you will not even see that it happens. It will just happen in the background and execute it, and then you're infected. But normally, nowadays, Java is deactivated as standard. Yeah, what happens exactly? There are different methods for encryption. There are different data extensions encrypted. It depends on the ransomware. Often the developer can choose what extension they want to encrypt. Like they want all the MP3s and all the audio files and all the pictures encrypted, or there are ransomware which encrypts everything except the Windows folder. So it really depends on the ransomware. There's like the blackmailing message that they want money of you. Optional also a countdown that people would have some stress and would rather pay for the ransom because like in 24 hours your files being deleted. Yeah, then deletion of that is also one way that you can improve your success rate as ransomware developer, because then people would like say, okay, I don't have backups, I need my files, so I will pay my ransom and then it will not get deleted. And it is also a possible scenario that people blackmail you with your data and publish it to the internet or something like this, if it's like sensitive data or just as another blackmail method. So for the simple way is how it is encrypted, how is the encryption working. So normally the files are encrypted symmetric with AES, and the AES key getting encrypted with RSA public key. And normally on the server of the malware developers, they are the RSA private key. And so the people, if they pay the ransom, they will get the RSA private key, and then they have their own tools there on the computer, which they give you that you decrypt the files again. But there are also other ways of encryption possible. So Petya GoldenEye uses the way of encrypting the file system table and changing the master boot recorder. So in the end, there you have the file system table, which is like an index of all your files on the file system in Windows. And if you encrypt this table, you don't have any clue where your files are on the hard disk. So at this part of encryption, you can use like some photo recovery software or some software that you can find the files on the hard disk with their magic numbers, but you have no clue where on the hard disk. So in this case, you still can recover some files with some recovery tools to find them on the hard disk. So the thing is, how do I protect me? So the first thing is like make your backups. So backups are very important. And if you say you don't use backups, tell me more about this genius plan of data loss. It's like if you really don't do backups, it could really go really wrong. There are various ways of backups. There's like you can back up your single files, you can make a whole image of the hard disk, you can make incremental backups, remote backups on the file server, differential. You have a lot of possibilities how you do your backups, so it's up to you what you want to choose. For some scenarios, like other backup strategy is better than other one. And also think about software licenses. So user profiles of programs also, like Firefox, Thunderbird. So I recommend for the software licenses that you have some central place where you can place them, like some folder or offline in some the codes in some map or something like this. And for the user profile of programs, they're often in some hidden folders on Windows. So you need to locate it. Sometimes it's in the local roaming folder, and it's normally hidden by Windows. And for passwords, I recommend like password managers, which you can easily migrate to a new system. So I recommend use a password manager, put a password on, and then you have a whole program where you have all your passwords in a database. Also very important is copies of all the files on the local computer are not safe. So if you have on the same hard disk 5 more copies of your data, it's not safe. Also, I'm not on another partition of the same hard disk. So if your hard disk crashes, then your data is lost. So you have to make backups on an external drive or an extra hard drive, on an extra logical hard drive, and so physical hard drive that you have data safe. So normally, as far as I know, a copy is then a copy if you have like 2 copies of one file. And that often people forget that it's not safe to save the files on the hard disk on the other partition, and they then know it when they've lost their data. Yeah, back up all the things. It's really important, especially it not only can happen that you get infected by ransomware. It can happen that your room gets flooded and your laptop is broken. It can happen that you get stolen your device. It can happen that a thunder strikes into your laptop, whatever. So it's like all-in-one solution for your data if you get lost them. And yeah, also crucial is that you test your backup. If you don't test your backup, in the worst case, it's not working to restore it. And then you're like sitting there, so fuck, my files are away. So testing is essential. So I recommend to test your backups because in the worst case, it will not work. Maybe you heard of GitLab. They had some incident like some months ago. The coder, the sysadmin somehow deleted the wrong database. And yeah, that was like, in the end, they lost like 5 or 8 hours of work in data of all the customers which had data on GitLab. And yeah, they had like 5 backup strategies, and none of them worked in the end. So in the end, now they have better procedures, but like you can learn from GitHub that even it happens to big companies that they fail at restoring the backup. I have some software recommendations. That's like it's probably most of them are for Windows. There is like the Paragon Backup Recovery for free. Most of the tools are like free tools. There is Areca Backup. This is a Java implementation of a backup tool. It also works on Linux. There is OMI Backupper, and also the Windows internal backup tool is also quite good. So it's easy to use for normal people, and it's quite powerful. So if you don't have a lot of knowledge, you should use the Windows internal backup tool for backups. Next, I recommend for sure update antivirus software, up-to-date antivirus software, but it's not the holy grail. So it's an extra thing, but it will not save you from malware, because sometimes malware can evade the antivirus software. And so it's just extra protection, but it's not the holy grail for protecting against malware. Very important is up-to-date operating system, browser, and programs. Like you saw at WannaCry, there was a hole in the SMB exploit. Thanks. And so if the sysadmin patched the systems 2 months ago, they would not get affected by WannaCry, but they didn't. I don't know why, but in the end, it was quite a pain in the ass afterwards to clean everything up. So first of all, you get more security when updating your systems and your tools, and even you get also maybe new features for your programs. Also, quite an interesting or important thing is if you use Windows, turn on the Windows file extensions. They are by default off if for known file extensions. So they turn off the file extensions for like known file, like an executable or like a PDF or whatever. So you can create files that are like invoice.pdf.exe, and the people just see invoice.pdf, and then they click it on, start it, and then just running an executable. Also important, deactivate Adobe Flash. Better uninstall it. I think soon it will be not even supported by the major browser vendors. So all in all, it's time to switch to a new system like HTML5. Because it's full of security holes. In the past they patched it like every week or every month with really critical exploits in there. Also, an important thing is like email and attachments. You should mistrust this. So sometimes people can send you emails with some malware in it, and sometimes people don't even know that they have malware on the system, and the malware itself sends email to the whole address book. So if you get some fishy email, maybe you contact the person you got the email from, if you know it, if you know the person, and ask them maybe if they sent the email, if maybe they don't even know that they got infected by malware. So as I said, it's sometimes really important to ask people if they really sent the email, because they maybe don't even know that they're infected. Also important is like no administration privileges. So work with limited user privileges. It doesn't protect from ransomware, and that will be still encrypted from your home drive. And it somehow also provides false security. But with that, you will just get encrypted your home data, not the whole data on the whole computer. So if multiple users using the computer, you will just get encrypted your home drive and not all the data of all users. So you will not need to recover a whole backup. You will just need to import your own backup then. So the other thing is like no plugging in of unknown flash drives. So they can be infected, or they can even be a killer USB that destroys your computer. There are some devices like this out there. Yeah, there are also unknown USB flash drives also used for social engineering. They like put it in front of some companies, and they see if people are getting it into the company and plugging it into the computer. So it can also be a thing that people bring it into the company, plug it in, and then the computer in the company got affected and get the backdoor for an attacker. Another thing is, if you have some suspicious files, you can check it online. There is like virustotal.com. I recommend don't upload private data, because you don't know what will happen afterwards with it. But with this tool, you can check files if they're like infected, and they check it with like 40 antivirus software tools and give you the result of the results of the check. Another thing is, use Linux. So there are quite a lot of user-friendly systems out there, like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Debian. You have there is even Hannah Montana Linux if you like. And the thing is, most of the malware and the ransomware are used in the Windows operating system, because most of the people are using Windows, and so it's the most profitable target for the malware developer. There are also malware for Linux and for Mac OS, but the most malware is like implemented for Windows. And yeah, also brain exe use must. So you also should think about, should I open this file or should I delete it? So often the human is like the weakest part in the link in the IT security side on the user base at the office. So sometimes maybe think twice before opening a file or clicking on some suspicious link. Yeah, backup. So as I already told you, very important. You should do it, and it will save your ass probably. So there is a quick summary. So if you got infected by ransomware, what should I do? First of all, turn off your computer immediately. So pull the plug or press the power off button till it's shut down. Put the live system from flash drive, CD, DVD, and try to rescue some data if it's still not unencrypted. And yeah, then you can detect the ransomware type, like with the file extension or with the message you got. Then reinstall your file system, your operating system again. So I recommend to make a full clean install because you never know if there's still some data left of some malware which can load other stuff. So I recommend to really reinstall the whole operating system. And in the end, restore your backup. So you have no backup, yeah, that's quite bad. Like really make backup, it will make your life easier. Yeah, now it's demo time. I have a demo for you with me. So I have here my virtual machine. I have here, first you see here there's jigsaw.pdf.exe. If I deactivate, if I deactivate the known file extensions, you will just see it's so you see here there is a jigsaw.pdf, but it's executable. So if you check out the things, it's exe. It's executable. The other funny thing is, first of all, there is description here. It's a Firefox. And the other funny thing is, if you check the details, the original file called bitcoinblackmailer.exe. So it's really good implemented, and so we will play not a user which have no clue. So we will just start this file. It seems legit. It's a PDF. Okay, let's start it. Okay, there comes the USC prompt. I have other tools also which don't do a USC prompt. So I'll execute it. Then if someone wants to start a Dropbox.exe, okay. I really want to install Dropbox every time, so let's do it. Then there is a message saying thank you with some red cross. I don't know, that makes no sense. And it's telling me, yeah, my software is registered and there is a confirmation code. And yeah, email us this code in the chat to activate your software. Okay, I will say, it's great. Then you will check the task manager. You will see there is a process, the Dropbox.exe. It needs quite a lot of CPU time. And the funny thing is, it's the Dropbox.exe file, but with the description Firefox. So it's also very bad implemented. And yeah, it's now starting to implement stuff. I have here some folders with some wallpapers, with some music documents, and I have here a folder with Office documents. And there is one funny thing at this ransomware. You have this file here, and if you check the things, it's a XLT file, but XLT is in caps. And I have other XLT file, this one, and this is not in caps. And you will see that it will encrypt all the files of the Office stuff, except this first one where the XLT is in caps, because it's sometimes case sensitive, so it ignores this file. So it's already done, so it's encrypted already in my virtual machine, it's quite fast. So it makes .fun files. So that's everything .fun files. Except the first one, it's also working, so it didn't encrypt the .xlt file in caps. So the whole ransomware is case sensitive. So this file is still working. So it's still encrypting the stuff. The wallpapers are still encrypted. Also, the ransomware often also uses the hardware encryption, the hardware processor for encrypting files even faster. So we'll wait. Oh, there is a ransom message. This is Jigsaw, the Jigsaw ransomware. Yeah, my files are being encrypted, your photos, videos, documents, etc. But don't worry, I have not deleted them yet. You have 24 hours to pay $150 in Bitcoins to get the decryption key. For the Bitcoin stuff, ransomware developers are quite interested to get their money. So it's their business that they decrypt your files if you pay them. So it's their business plan. So in the end, you will get most of the time your files back if you pay the ransom, but I don't recommend it. And there are even ransomware developers which have really a support chat, like you can chat with them and they give you instructions how to get Bitcoins. It's like really customer service they offer you for paying the ransom, paying the ransom. There are even some ransomware developers have even hotlines where you could call. There was one case, some barber shop got infected by ransomware and they didn't have money to pay it. So they called them and they say, yeah, we have a barber shop and we don't have enough money to pay it. And they say, yeah, okay, just pay $100 and we will decrypt your files. So they even also sometimes kind and give you just some discount. But they know that most of the people have no clue about Bitcoins and therefore they will offer you support how to get your files back and how to acquire Bitcoins. So it will be nearly finished. The thing is, it's a Visual Basic. They don't even make a custom icon. So the thing is, here is now the ransomware. You see it's really bad. Even the text didn't fit on the whole page. Here we have a countdown. So in 1 hour, one file will be deleted. That's the Bitcoin address where they want to send the Bitcoins. And they have even a service to show you which file they encrypted. So, okay, that's all the encrypted files they did. So it's a nice service, so I can check out which file I should recover from a backup. And so I think, oh my god, my files are encrypted, I will just shut down my PC, okay? So I go and want to shut down my PC. And then you're about to make a very bad decision. Are you sure about it? Yeah, okay, I will just turn it off. Yes. So, I don't know, but sometimes it happens that the ransomware then, it does an auto start, so it will start again. And sometimes if you then restart it, it will delete already some files. So we can check it out now as the last thing if we deleted some files. So sometimes it happened that it then popped up again and then told me, yeah, like 20 of your files got deleted. Yeah, until it boots up. So first of all, thank you for listening. If you have some further questions, feel free to ask. I think I have 1 or 2 questions I can answer you. Else, there are some further sources. I will publish the slides on the FSec website. Yeah, that's me. I'm Hetti from MetaLab Vienna, and you can find me on Twitter. And you can also speak to me at the venue here. You can have some samples. I have still more ransomware samples if you're interested in. We can change samples if you like. Thank you. So I started it again. So now it's starting on Firefox.exe. Okay. I don't know why my Firefox didn't auto start, but okay, I will approve it. Then you will see there is the Firefox. When you check it out, It's in the roaming in FRFX folder, and it's a Firefox. It still have the Bitcoin blackmailer access as original file, but now at least the description is correct of the execute table. But now we'll just check it again and then start again the Locky file screen. So, some questions? No one? Okay. So if you're interested, I have still more samples I can show you then afterwards if you're interested. I have there are some really ridiculous stuff, like there is a ransomware where you have to play a game and reach like 2 billion points that you get your files decrypted. There is even some really bad ransomware called Hitler ransomware with a typo. And it's really bad implemented, and they don't want Bitcoin, they want 25 euro Vodafone cash card for your telephone. So, yeah, I think I will stop here. Probably there will be some files deleted. If you're interested, we can check it out later. Thank you very much.